There's a moment during intimacy that decides everything. A moment where time slows down, where breath meets breath, and two hearts begin to speak a language that no words can ever translate. In that moment, a man doesn't just touch your body, he feels your energy, your essence, your truth. And what you do in that tiny, fragile space between heartbeats can decide whether he'll wake up tomorrow still thinking about you, or whether you'll just become another memory in his past. Because here's the secret, it's never just about what happens physically. You can have the perfect moves, the right rhythm, the kind of passion that burns like fire. But if he doesn't feel something real, something that pulls him deeper into you emotionally, he'll still go looking for that feeling somewhere else. Men may crave bodies, but they fall in love with energy. When he's inside you, you have the power to shift his entire world. It's not about being wild or trying to impress him. It's about being present, about letting him feel that you're not just there in body, but in soul. When your touch says, "I see you," when your eyes whisper, "You're safe here," when your heart opens and invites him in, not just physically, but emotionally, that's when he's gone. That's when no one else can reach the place inside him that you already own. Most women think men fall for beauty, for excitement, for novelty. But the truth, men stay for peace. They stay where they feel seen, understood, and trusted. When you give him that, when your connection goes beyond pleasure and becomes something sacred, he'll never want to touch another woman. Because what he feels with you will become his new standard. Every other touch will feel empty. Every other woman will feel distant. And deep down, he'll crave only one thing, the way you made him feel when everything stopped and it was just the two of you breathing together, hearts beating as one. That's the moment you become unforgettable. And that's what I'm going to show you how to create step by step. Let's start with something that most people overlook completely: energy synchronization. When you're in that deeply intimate moment, the greatest power you have isn't in what you say or even what you do. It's in how your energy moves with his. Think about it for a second. Every touch, every breath, every heartbeat has a rhythm. When you and your partner move at different tempos, the connection feels mechanical, almost rushed. But when you're breathing, your heartbeat and your emotions begin to align with his, something magical happens. The entire experience transforms from physical to spiritual. Close your eyes and imagine this. You're with him. And instead of focusing on how you look or what you should do next, you simply feel. You start breathing slowly, deeply, letting your body melt into his. You match his rhythm. His inhale becomes your inhale. His exhale becomes your exhale. Your chest rises when his does, and it falls when his does. Without even realizing it, your bodies start communicating in silence. That rhythm becomes a shared heartbeat, a quiet conversation that says, "We're one right now." You don't have to perform, you just have to be. That's where connection begins. Men rarely experience that kind of presence. Their minds are usually running in 1,000 directions. Stress, responsibility, noise. But in that moment, when you synchronize your energy, you pull him out of the chaos and into peace. You give him something he doesn't even know he's starving for, a sense of stillness. That stillness becomes the place where he finally feels safe enough to let go, to be vulnerable, to surrender emotionally. And when a man feels emotionally safe in your presence, that's when everything changes. He'll associate you with calm, with home, with grounding energy. It's no longer just about pleasure, it's about connection. He'll feel like no one else understands him like you do, not because you said all the right things, but because you felt him without words. That kind of connection lingers. It stays with him in the quiet moments, when he's alone, when his mind drifts back to you and he can't explain why. Now, synchronization isn't about control, it's about surrender. You're not trying to dominate the energy, you're simply allowing it to flow together naturally. Sometimes it's slow and gentle, sometimes it's deep and powerful, but it always moves in unity. You're teaching him through energy that intimacy doesn't have to be about speed or performance. It can be about presence and emotion. There's something profoundly sensual about two people breathing as one. It's simple, but it's rare. It's not what he sees in movies or hears in conversations. It's what he feels deep inside when your energy tells him, "You don't have to chase me. You can just be with me." And in that moment, you shift the dynamic. You're no longer just lovers, you're mirrors. You reflect peace, trust, and grounding, and he naturally responds by wanting more of that feeling. Because that's what keeps men loyal. Not fear, not obligation, not even passion. It's the feeling of being at ease, of finally finding a woman who brings calm instead of chaos. When you learn to synchronize your energy with his, you stop being someone he enjoys, you become someone he needs. Every time he's away from you, his body will remember the safety of your rhythm, the warmth of your energy, and the peace that came from breathing in sync with you. So the next time you find yourself in that intimate space, don't rush. Don't think, just breathe. Let your body match his. Let silence speak louder than words. Because in that stillness, you're not just making love, you're creating connection. You're giving him the kind of emotional experience he'll spend his whole life trying to feel again and only ever find with you. There's a reason people say the eyes are the windows to the soul, because in moments of intimacy, they're the truest language you can speak. When you look into his eyes and hold that gaze, everything else disappears. The room fades, the noise fades, even time itself slows down. What's left is pure connection, raw, unfiltered, and magnetic. Most people underestimate how powerful that kind of eye contact can be. They focus on what their body is doing, but the real connection happens when you allow your eyes to communicate the emotions your lips can express. When you look at him, don't look with expectation or curiosity. Look with presence. Look at him like he's the only person in the world at that moment. Your eyes should say, "I see you. I feel you. You're safe here." That's the message that hits deeper than any words could. When you hold his gaze, something in him softens. He stops performing. He stops trying to impress you. In that single connection, he feels accepted exactly as he is. And that kind of acceptance, it's rare, it's healing, it's addictive. Most men go through life wearing invisible armor. They're taught to stay strong, to keep control, to never show weakness. But when you look into his eyes with sincerity, not lust, not manipulation, but genuine warmth, you silently tell him that he can drop that armor. You tell him he doesn't have to be perfect. He doesn't have to be anyone but himself. And that's when he truly lets you in. Not just physically, but emotionally. There's something deeply intimate about that kind of gaze. It's vulnerable, it's daring. It's saying, "I'm not hiding from you." And when he feels that, he'll start mirroring you. He'll look back at you with the same softness, the same hunger, the same curiosity. You'll see the real him emerge, the man underneath the layers of confidence and control. That's when intimacy shifts from something you're doing to something you're sharing. Holding eye contact also heightens every sensation between you. That when your bodies move together and your eyes stay locked, every touch feels amplified. You start to feel not just what's happening to you, but what's happening between you. It's like electricity, quiet, powerful, unspoken. It turns an ordinary moment into something spiritual. It's no longer about passion alone. It becomes about connection, trust, and belonging. But here's the secret most people miss: don't force it. Don't stare to impress. Let the gaze happen naturally. Let it come from genuine emotion. There will be moments where you both want to look away because it feels too raw, too honest, and that's okay. Those are the moments that reveal truth, because vulnerability isn't always comfortable, but it's what makes love real. And when you dare to stay in that space a little longer, to not look away even when it feels intense, you teach him something beautiful, that emotional intimacy is safe with you. And later, when he's lying there in the quiet, that's what he'll remember. Not just the physical closeness, but the way your eyes made him feel seen. He'll remember how it felt to be fully understood without you saying a single word. And once a man experiences that kind of connection, he can't unfeel it. He won't be able to find it anywhere else, because it's not something anyone can fake. It comes from your heart, from your openness, from your willingness to truly connect. That look becomes his memory. It becomes the place his mind returns to when he misses you. Because in that gaze, you didn't just share pleasure, you shared truth. And that truth is what keeps him coming back over and over again, searching for the feeling that only your eyes could ever give him. Words have power, but during intimacy, the right words can reach a man deeper than touch ever could. Most people underestimate how powerful it is to speak from the heart in those moments. They focus on saying what they think will sound sexy or impressive, but the truth is that kind of talk fades. What truly captures a man's soul is when you whisper what you genuinely feel, not what you think he wants to hear. Because when your words come from authenticity, they awaken something inside him that no performance ever can. When you're that close, when your breath is warm against his skin, don't fill the silence with cliches. Instead, say what's real. Tell him what the moment makes you feel, softly, slowly, honestly. Maybe it's, "I feel safe with you," or I love how close this feels. Those words might sound simple, but in that moment, they carry a weight he'll never forget. Because you're not just describing pleasure, you're revealing emotion. You're showing him that being with him makes you feel something meaningful. And that's the kind of truth that gets under a man's skin and stays there. You see, men are surrounded by noise, people telling them who to be, what to do, how to act. They're constantly performing for the world, trying to prove something. But in your presence, he doesn't want to perform. He wants to feel accepted. When you whisper words that come from your heart, it tells him he's enough. It tells him he doesn't have to try so hard to be seen or valued. He already is. Don't underestimate the tone in your voice either. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. Speak softly, like every word carries emotion. Let your voice tremble slightly with sincerity. That tremble is vulnerability. It's real, unpolished, human. It cuts through the noise and lands straight in his heart. Because no man forgets the sound of a woman who's being emotionally honest with him. It's rare, it's intimate, and it's unforgettable. When you speak from that place of truth, you're doing more than communicating. You're bonding. You're associating the physical closeness with emotional depth. Every time he hears your voice in that tone, his brain starts linking desire to comfort, pleasure to safety, passion to love. That's how loyalty is built, not through control or seduction, but through emotional imprinting. You make him feel that what he experiences with you isn't just physical release, it's connection, healing, and truth. And what's beautiful about this is how effortless it becomes once you stop trying to sound perfect. The magic happens when you stop performing and start feeling. You don't need to say much. Sometimes just one heartfelt whisper is enough. One genuine sentence can echo in his memory for days. Because long after the moment passes, he'll replay your words in his mind, the softness of your tone, the honesty in your voice, and realize that no one else ever made him feel that deeply understood. So the next time you're with him, let go of the idea that you have to say what's sexy. Instead, say what's true. Whisper what's real, what you feel, what your heart is actually experiencing in that moment. Tell him what touches you emotionally, not just physically, because when your words carry emotion, they become part of him. They linger. They remind him that he didn't just experience passion, he experienced connection. And when a man connects passion with peace, desire with depth, he doesn't want to explore elsewhere, because no one else will ever make him feel that safe, that seen, that loved. That's the power of your voice, the power of speaking not from performance, but from presence. Touch is the oldest form of communication. Older than language, older than words. It's how humans first learned to express love, comfort, and safety. And when it comes to intimacy, your touch holds the power to speak to a man's heart in ways your voice never could. But the difference between ordinary touch and intentional touch is everything. Anyone can touch him. Few can reach him. The secret lies in intention, in touching him not just to arouse him, but to connect with him. When you touch him with intention, every movement carries meaning. You're no longer just two bodies moving together, you're two souls in conversation. Your hands become storytellers, tracing silent messages across his skin. You're saying, I see you, I choose you, I'm here with you. And believe me, he feels that. Even if he can't describe it, he feels it in the quiet part of his heart that rarely gets touched. Start by slowing everything down. Don't rush to pleasure, let it build. When your hand moves along his back, do it like you're learning him, memorizing the shape of his world. When you touch his face, don't do it carelessly. Cradle it like you're holding something precious. Let your fingers pause, linger, breathe on his skin. The slowness tells him something words never could, that you're not here just for the act. You're here for him. Men spend their lives being touched for reasons that are physical, handshakes, hugs, moments of desire, but rarely are they touched with emotional purpose. When your touch carries warmth, care, and presence, it bypasses his logic and goes straight to his soul. It's why after everything ends, he'll still remember the way your hands felt, because you weren't just touching his body, you were listening to it. And that's the real art of intention. Listening through touch, feel the rhythm of his breath. Notice where his body relaxes, where it tenses. Your hand should respond to his energy, not control it. When you follow instead of force, when you connect instead of perform, the experience becomes something sacred. You turn intimacy into a form of healing, not just pleasure. You give him permission to let go of everything he carries outside that moment. There's a certain calm that comes from being touched without agenda. It tells him he doesn't need to perform, doesn't need to impress, doesn't need to chase validation. He can simply exist in your space and be enough. That realization of being enough is what bonds him to you. Because for most men, the world rarely gives them that gift. They're told to be strong, to lead, to never show vulnerability. But when your touch says, you don't need to be anything right now, he feels peace. And peace is more powerful than pleasure. It's what he'll always come back for. Intention also means being fully present. When your mind is elsewhere, worried about how you look or what comes next, your body feels disconnected. But when you're grounded, when you allow yourself to fully feel him, your touch changes. It becomes alive. It becomes a language of love and focus. You stop thinking and start feeling. And that's when he starts to feel emotionally seen through your hands. Even something as simple as running your fingers through his hair or tracing his chest can carry depth when done with attention. The difference is in your energy. Are you touching to excite him or to remind him that he's safe, valued, loved? One awakens lust, the other awakens devotion. And devotion doesn't come from performance. It comes from authenticity, from intention, from the moments where your hands speak a truth your lips don't need to say, you matter, you're safe here. That's what makes a man loyal, not fear of losing you, but the peace he feels in your presence. Because once a man has experienced the kind of touch that reaches his soul, every other touch feels empty. He'll crave not the thrill of newness, but the calm of being known. And that's the power you hold when you touch him with intention. You stop being a moment in his life and become the feeling he spends his life chasing, vulnerability. It's the one thing that scares most people, and yet it's the very thing that creates the deepest form of connection. When you allow someone to see the real you, without the armor, without the act, that's when intimacy becomes more than physical. That's when it becomes emotional, spiritual, unforgettable. And when it comes to a man, showing vulnerability doesn't make you weak, it makes you magnetic. Because in a world where everyone's trying to look confident, perfect, and untouchable, the woman who dares to be real becomes the one he can't forget. When you're with him and you let your walls come down, you send him a message no words could ever express. You can have all of me, not just my body, but my truth. It's not about breaking down or oversharing. It's about letting him see your softness, your humanity, your emotions in their raw form. Maybe it's a trembling breath. Maybe it's the way your eyes glisten when you feel deeply connected. Or maybe it's the quiet side that escapes when you finally let go of control. Those are the moments that stay with him long after the night ends. Because those moments are real. Men crave authenticity, even if they don't always admit it. They're surrounded by masks, people pretending, posturing, performing. But when he's with you and feels that you're not pretending, when he senses that your emotions are genuine, it disarms him completely. He begins to feel safe, showing his vulnerability too. And that's the secret. No one talks about vulnerability invites vulnerability. When you show him your softness, you give him permission to show his. That's how two people truly connect, not through perfection, but through shared imperfection. When you laugh honestly, when your voice shakes a little as you tell him how much he means to you, when you admit that being close to him scares you a little because it feels so deep, those are the moments that carve your presence into his heart. You stop being an experience and you become a memory that lives in his soul. See, vulnerability doesn't make a woman less desirable. It makes her unforgettable, because desire without emotion is temporary. It fades. But when you mix desire with honesty, with truth, with emotional openness, you create something eternal. He won't just remember your beauty or your passion. He'll remember the feeling of your trust. And trust to a man is sacred. It's the rarest gift he can receive because it tells him, you are safe with me and I am safe with you. When you let yourself be seen, truly seen, you transform the space between you. It stops being about who's in control and starts being about who's present. You create an emotional sanctuary where he feels understood, where he feels human. And that's something he'll never find with someone who keeps the mask on. So don't be afraid of letting the cracks show. Don't be afraid to let him see your unfiltered emotions, the parts of you that aren't perfect but are real. Maybe it's a moment of shyness, maybe it's tears, maybe it's laughter that comes from a place of pure joy. That's the version of you that reaches him on a level deeper than lust. That's the version of you that touches his heart, not just his body. And when he sees that version of you, something shifts inside him. He doesn't just want to hold you. He wants to protect that softness. He wants to cherish it. Because once a man feels that level of trust and honesty, he'll never want to risk losing it. He'll associate you with home, with peace, with the kind of connection that doesn't come twice in a lifetime. So let him see your vulnerability. Let him see your truth. Because in a world full of noise and pretense, authenticity is the loudest thing you can ever express. And when you show him that, he won't just remember you. He'll feel you long after the moment has passed. And that feeling, that trust, that softness is what will make him yours forever. So let's be honest for a second. What you just learned isn't about manipulation. It's about connection. It's about knowing how to touch his heart while you're touching his body. Because when a man feels desired, appreciated, and emotionally safe with you, he doesn't wander, he bonds. He remembers you in the quiet moments. He wants to hold you longer. That's the kind of power that doesn't fade after passion. It deepens with it. Now I want you to think about this. Are you giving him something that only you can give? Something that makes him crave you, not just your body. The real secret isn't in what you say, it's in how you make him feel when you say it. Whisper the right words, but mean every one of them. Because men can feel authenticity. They can sense when a woman is fully present, fully connected. And when he feels that energy, he'll never forget you. If this resonated with you, if you felt something stir deep inside, then it's time to go even deeper. Watch the next video on the words that make him emotionally addicted to you. You'll understand exactly what makes him stay, commit, and love you endlessly. Before you go, tell me in the comments, what's the one thing you believe makes a man fall in love beyond physical attraction? I'm reading every single one.